Good morning. It's Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. Yes, it is. Ooh, on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Hey, Ridiculisa. So nice to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Jess, Squirrel of Mystery, and everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and this is the Astro and the Oracle program, where what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology, then I'm going to pull cards for each sign of the zodiac, and you're going to get a 3-card reading. You're going to listen for your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And really just use your intuition as well as whatever I say to get a message for you. And we're in the full moon phase. So yeah, there may be something that really pops up to you. We had a full moon last weekend in the sign of Libra, which rules relationships. And then Venus went direct. And so now everything is going direct at first, like a short period of time. But we've got direct motion coming back in where it's time where we're getting ready to move forward with more purpose, and we've had time to evaluate our values, Venus, our thought processes, Mercury, how we take action, Mars, over the last several months of this year. And I have said this year really doesn't get started till this month, April, and here we are. It's a whole different world than we were on January 1st. I mean, so far different. It's pretty shocking for even people who wanted the strong man kind of thing. Yeah, they forgot to read the fine print about what it means to have a strong man. What they do is they elevate just their elite people up and then push everyone else down. So they forgot to read that part of the what do you call it? The authoritarian's playbook. But we are here where we are. Anyway, I'm going to use the Queen of the Sun Oracle by Stacey Demarco. Yes, I love this deck. It's beautiful, and it's a rock pool deck, and it's going to be fantastic. Yes, the readings from this card. So what did I want to talk about today? Well, the biggest story that is getting a lot of attention is about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And this is one of the eclipse stories because on March 15th was when that flight went from the U.S. to that hellhole in Venezuela, that horrible prison camp, which is basically a concentration death camp where people who go in do not come out. So that was the big story, and they were told not to do this. They were told to come back, and they ignored the courts, and the Supreme Court voted 9-0. Anyway, we are here where we are. We saw on Monday that the president met with that Bukele guy who calls himself the meanest dictator in the world or something like that, and laughing it up about the fact that they're sending people to this place from the United States with no due process or anything, and caught on a hot mic. The big thing from this meeting, caught on a hot mic, was President Trump told this guy to build 5 more prisons so that he could send American citizens, the homegrown ones. And we know how this story goes. First, they start with, the people from prisons, and then they start snatching people off the streets and just sending them to Siberia, the gulags, or the concentration camps. We've had this history. But anyway, Americans are standing up and saying, hold up, wait a minute. And I was so heartwarmed. If you haven't seen, this 90-year-old senator from Iowa was doing a town hall with his constituents, and they were furious about what's going on with this man being mistakenly taken away. They're just defying the courts, saying they're not going to bring him back, and these people were extremely angry. So I think we're going to be, as Americans, raise their voices. And this is a red Republican district. These people were furious about what has happened to this man, because it could happen to anyone. You know, first they start with first they come for the communists, and then they came for the Jews, and next then they came for me. It's a famous poem from the World War II. So yeah. Oh, did I say Venezuela? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the jail is in El Salvador. Did I say Venezuela by mistake? Sorry. Oh yeah. Oh, my take on the starship. Okay, so yeah, let's keep it light today. The moon is in Sagittarius. Who wants to talk about all of that, death camps and stuff? So let's talk about some gossip, something light-hearted. The sun is in Aries. We're coming up to the last days of Aries season. And I said this was terrible timing for this flight with Gail King and Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. There was this woman who's really impressive who went on this flight as well, who was going to be an astronaut, but then she was sexually assaulted, and she dedicated her life to fighting that. So she's pretty cool. But anyway, they got all primped up and their hair and makeup blown out, wearing Oscar de la Renta suits. So they were so Venus in Pisces energy, because Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces. So it's lifted up with a special seat at the table. They were supposed to be representing women all over the world or whatever, but it's just so tone deaf. And then they were screaming, coming like the thing looks like a big PENIS, the spaceship, and then they're screaming on the way down. It just was all so. It just went over like a lead balloon with a lot of people. And Gail King, who looked so terrified getting on that thing, I think she probably spent the last 2 months being in absolute terror for her life when they came back. I'm just glad they got back safely, because with the retrogrades, it could have been something that worse. But the Venus-Saturn conjunction says that women would be coming into like some kind of hardship. And Saturn and Pisces, Venus, Saturn and Pisces, their reputations were taken down a peg because there's a lot of negative press that they're getting from people they admire or care about. Gail King says some of her friends, people she thought were friends, were very critical of this tone-deaf Barbie hair extension parade in space kind of thing. So that's my take on that. They're getting a lot of negative press because of this trip. A lot of people weren't impressed, and it went over like a lead balloon. And it's just more of the imagery that we need to see with Pluto being in Aquarius. So Pluto is in Aquarius, opposite Leo. And these women were like Leo archetypes, the wealthy, royalty type things. Yeah, like rich people trotting off into space, while the majority of Americans are, laying awake at night, many of them, because they don't know whether Social Security is going to be taken away. And many people live on Social Security. People's 401ks, savings, all sorts, stocks, all sorts of things are going up in smoke as the administration does market manipulation with these stupid tariffs. And these stupid tariffs are driving people out of business. The harassing people coming to try to travel to the U.S. is causing like $8 billion went away. That is people's money that people who support the tourism industry, because people are canceling these trips to the U.S., used to feed their families, put roofs over their heads. So there's so much financial pressure on a lot of people. I think this like 10-minute space flight went over like a lead balloon. That's my take on that. Although I'm happy they got back safely, because I'm glad they waited till everything was direct before they went. Yes. Yeah, the jail is in El Salvador. Yes. Apology. Did I say Venezuela? I'm sorry. Yes. Who's Amanda Nguyen? Oh, that's the woman Amanda Nguyen was the woman on the space flight. Was really, really impressive. Yeah. Yeah, they need to read the room. Blown out hair. Their suits were all their Oscar de la Renta suits. I mean, it was just, yeah, I was not impressed. So, yeah. Yeah. Hi, Manifestor from Toronto. Okay, so we're looking for a big story today because Mercury has gone into the sign of Aries. It's wrapping up the cycle of the retrogrades. And we're looking for stories because Mercury is conjunct Neptune tomorrow in Aries. So the reason it's important is because it's on a world point. So some of the stories that I've seen, and I think this is the story, we'll see if this story catches fire, but 2 Americans are trapped in Denmark after being thrown in jail for canceling an Uber is the story. So we've got Mercury. There's the nature of the phone, Uber, transportation. And apparently these people got in a fight with the driver or somebody, and Neptune, like they're lost in jail. They're not lost, but they've been jailed for what they did. But the Daily Mail puts it up, and they're college students. So Mercury, they're young, they're college students. They're from Ohio, it looks like. Yeah, they were taken into custody on April 1st after an altercation with a driver, but it just made news today. Now, and it's Denmark that owns Greenland, right? Yeah, I want to make sure I'm correct. So hopefully this is not, yeah, Denmark owns Greenland. So hopefully this is not going to become an international incident that is something where the United States escalates this conflict with Greenland over these 2 people who got in a fight with an Uber driver and got put in Denmark jail. So keep that story in mind. That could be something that is an issue going forward, because next week is the culmination of the Mars retrograde cycle, where Mars on the 26th is opposite Pluto in Aquarius. So there's going to be something about some big conflict. Mars opposite Pluto. This is some of the most intense energy possible is coming next week. So there's so many stories I'm tracking to see, like, what is the one that's going to be the big thing. Oh, good. A judge is going to launch contempt proceedings. Yes. We're in this crisis. We're definitely in a constitutional crisis. Absolutely. And the administration is like the Mars and Leo, just doing whatever they want, taking actions of their own accord, ignoring the Constitution. But Pluto and Aquarius, the powerful group, the Supreme Court said to bring this guy back. We'll see what happens next. A senator went down there to El Salvador to try to, a senator from Maryland, where Garcia's from, where he lives, went down to the prison down there, or went down to El Salvador to try to negotiate this guy's release. I really hope that's what we're having on Easter weekend. We're getting proof of life that this guy is still alive in this torture chamber, Dante's Inferno. Yes, we are definitely in a huge crisis. Yes, absolutely. That could be a world point topic. Absolutely, Jane. Yes. So those are big things. Was there any other stories? Yeah, holding your breath for the 26th. I think there may be some big stuff going on this. So the 24th is the last time Venus and Saturn connect in the sign of Pisces, because we got 3 because of the retrograde. So we already know a big story. Venus rules resources like money, and Saturn limits and constricts things. So these ridiculous trade wars, your money is worth a lot less because everything is going up in price, or a lot of things are going up in price. So that's one big story. Is there some big culmination going on? Very concerned about like the bond markets, and there's, what could be going on with that, because one of the things I talk about on the podcast I recorded yesterday is to keep an eye on if you see anything about, there's 3 agencies, which I'm calling the 3 fates. There's Moody's, Standard and Poor's, and Fitch, that rate that do the credit ratings. And the United States was downgraded by Standard and Poor's in 2011 because of all the political conflict in the country and the division, and not being able to get anything done, in Congress because of all of this division. They downgraded us from AAA to AA plus, and if we're downgraded again around the 26th, the 24th, anytime Sunday on, and maybe even Sunday on, the moon is in. The moon will be. Where's the moon going to be on Sunday? Oh, Mars in Leo. Okay, sorry. Anytime Sunday on, we could be seeing some big stuff going on. So looking at the financial markets, what's happening next with that? Looking for like conflict, announcements of conflict or war or things like that. I said I wrote, wouldn't it be unbelievable if the president declared war on Greenland? And he said to the date of the solar eclipse, that we're coming up to the end of this solar eclipse cycle. Hopefully this is making sense to people, but maybe I'm not being as clear as I should be. But we had a new moon on April, the new moon was March 29th, where there was that solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, which rules conflict, and Mercury was on a world point of 0 Aries. And now Mercury's back there again. Mercury was going backwards that time. Now Mercury's going forward on that time, at that point. And so Mercury announces, and Aries is a sign that rules conflict, competition, pioneering things. So just like this new start energy, and it rules courage. Like this senator who's going to El Salvador, how courageous to do so, because we've got this, he's putting his life at risk with this administration we have now. So that's the story. That's the Greenland thing. I think these 2 kids in Denmark, they could be made into mythic heroes for the mindless. And what's the other thing? Oh, so the Senator Brego Garcia, the potential conflict with Denmark over rare earth minerals in Greenland, because China's not selling any rare earth minerals to anyone in the world. So we need those for defense, AI stuff, all kinds of stuff. So that's becoming more of an issue. And what was the other one? Oh, the president's health. So in the United States chart, we have a Libra midheaven. And so the president is represented by the planet Venus. And on Saturday, when Venus and Saturn were together for the second time, there was some, oh, look at, why are there balloons going up for the second time? Supposedly the president had some kind of health exam and he's fit as a fiddle, we've been told. And he's winning golf tournaments. That's what we were told is the reason why he's healthy. But the last Venus-Saturn conjunction, there's going to be something reverberating there that's happening around, that's another Venus-Saturn thing. So it could be just about his approval rating. So we could, on the 24th of April, hear something about how his approval ratings are really, really down. It could also be something related to his vitality. So we'll see if that's it. Or he does something that causes even more hardship for the people of the country or someone anywhere out there, that it's not, the Saturn rules like failure, that like, so there's this energy of doing something that people are not happy about. So we'll see what that is, or it could literally be about his vitality. And I say that because in the sky, Uranus in the sky is squaring his Mars on his ascendant. So that could be some unexpected upheaval. I think more likely health. Some astrologers are predicting, someone might try to take him out again. There was somebody was planning an assassination that was caught this past weekend with the Venus-Saturn wanting to do that. But there could be, someone else trying something. Again, his chart is very activated. We shall see if that's another story. And what was the other one I wanted to let you know about? Oh, something popping off in the Middle East, of course. And it may be really surprising. We'll see. What was the other Venus-Saturn? Oh, apparently Rachel Maddow said something, a whistleblower on last night, that's Mercury and Aries, who said when Doge was doing all their stuff, they were intercepting Russian hacks, and that maybe that Starlink satellites took all our material, all our stuff that they got from doing all of the messing in our government, and it's been moved through Russian servers or something, so that Russia could, or someone could do some kind of cyber thing against us, or who knows what. So that's the other thing we're looking at. But I'm hoping it's just something more minor than that. But just hold on to your hats. Keep hope alive. I think if there is a big problem, we shall deal with it. If that made sense. Yeah, Easter weekend, it could be really intense because Mars is going back into Leo. And on Sunday, we've got a last quarter moon where the moon is in Aquarius. So Aquarius rules groups, organizations. The air is opposite Mars and Leo, and both of them squaring on the sun in Taurus. So that's intense energy. That could be a lot of conflict, or it could be a lot of conflict because the moon, which rules the people, is moving into Pluto. So it could be people become aware of some big secrets revealed kind of thing about, like maybe this Doge thing is on the Sunday shows or something. There could be a lot of talk about that, but there could definitely be some upheaval somewhere, some violence with Mars. Or it could just be about the protests that are happening this weekend. People are very angry about the rise of fascism in the United States. Even people who voted for it, apparently. didn't read the fine print. Okay. So we may see a lot of, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we'll see. I just think what we can do is make sure we have, your gas tank filled. You have food for a couple of weeks, non-perishables. Don't go crazy, but just have, and just in case there's something that makes it hard, and some money so that if, credit cards and things don't work for a bit. So I think this is just something we need to have because the world is changed. It's like the way we were is gone. It's just gone. We're in a situation where we are in conflict with the whole world. We pushed off all of our allies, and we've been opened up to a lot of stuff with this tariff wars, fights against China, and all of this. And it's just a different world that we're in, and it's unstabilizing. So I think the biggest thing we can do is ground ourselves and know that our psychologically, this is change that's happened so fast, it's destabilizing. It's not like we were the frogs in the pot where they turn up the heat really slowly, so they don't jump out of the pot because they don't even notice the rising temperature, and it's too late then when they're boiled. That's not our experience. Our experience has been being thrown into boiling water, and we're like trying to jump out of it. So it's just so fast. It's so furious. We've got to ground ourselves emotionally and then make decisions about what we're going to do, whether we're going to be calling our senators and Congress people, going to protests, ignoring it, putting our heads up our butts. Some people are just like jumping into a bottle. Like, people are handling this in different ways, but I think handling it healthfully and figuring out how you can be your own hero. That is the message of Neptune in Aries. Neptune is like rules mythology, and Aries is the sign of the hero. So be the center of your own mythology, where you are your own hero. That's what I'm working on. Yeah. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, Ben. It's really. Yeah, the opposition has to really get their game together. Yes, I agree. Soon we will have a 0 credit score, Grace says. I know. It is so... I know. I know. We're playing rock, scissors, paper, and other people are playing three-dimensional chess. Yeah. Voluntary... Oh, I did not hear him talk about his IQ. I don't. Yeah. Oh, I saw Vance drop the trophy. I think that was football, Casey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd be proud to be Canadian too. The Fed chair said our finances are perfect. Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm very concerned about our finances. Yeah, that it's a house of cards that could come crumbling down. But what can we do about it? We just have to do the best we can. Okay, I'm going to do the Queen of the Sun Oracle. Just keep hope alive that things are going to be okay. But we're going to have some hard times. It just is what it is. We're in hard times. Thanks. Unnecessary hard times. We're in this period of unnecessary roughness. I don't see any... We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So for Aries, your card, so you're listening for your sun, moon, and rising. I'm doing Queen of the Sun Oracle. Aries, your card is weaving and it's Privatar. Ooh, look at that beautiful, beautiful card. Weaving. Now, Neptune's in Aries, so this is, and Mercury has just entered Aries, and to me, this is like weaving your own story. How do you want to move forward? And not letting yourself get paralyzed with fear. And this is, Aries is good for this, having the courage to just, you may have to pivot. Like if you're a travel agent or something like that, or you have a hotel where 90% of your clientele is from out of the country, you may be really in a state where you've got to make big changes because, people, it's not, they're not coming back anytime soon. So, like, how can you weave a new mythology, a new story for yourself is what and pivot. Yeah, and walk through the fire and the difficulty. So, let me see what else it says about this this. Everything is connected. Energy is never lost, but transformed. So maybe you just have to do some transformation that you don't want to do, you didn't ask for. But sometimes these things happen in life, yeah. Know when it's best to be alone or to form a community. Trust yourself and the process. Weave your skills together to form something unique and valuable. And like maybe you can pivot and come up with some new marketing material. And because people aren't going to be traveling out of the country as much because they're harassing Americans too. And there was a woman who was an American I saw on, like, who got harassed, pulled off a plane and just harassed, who was trying to go to Mexico. So maybe marketing to U.S. citizens to come to your place. Yeah, that could be something you're doing. Yeah, just keep swimming. Yes, pivot. But it's really scary at first. And who knows, your business could be even better in the future. Yeah. Ooh, I love this for Taurus. Baldar, beauty. This is such an interesting card. Like, for beauty, it's not really the kind of image I would necessarily think of for beauty. But Taurus is ruled by Venus. And yeah, this could be a time for Tauruses maybe to really relish all the beautiful things in your life, especially like things that are just simple things, like being able to see beautiful flowers, walk in nature, all of that kind of stuff. The best things in life are free. That's what I'm getting. And relishing the beauty of that sort of thing. Yes, yes. Surround yourself with beauty. Seek it in the smallest things. Choose kindness and gentleness. And exercise good etiquette wherever you can. Exercise good etiquette. I seek those things that wash my spirit clean. The companion stone or metal tourmaline are the stones. In the mythos of many cultures, there is a male figure who represents all that is beautiful, good, and honest. This figure is one that is full of hope and light. They don't always win, and this makes us feel the lesson in the tragedy. Often, though, they do triumph, and we feel that this hope can be captured for ourselves and the world. Well, I'm hoping that card is about the senator who went down to El Salvador and that he's going to get the opportunity. He's going to have an impact. That's what I'm hoping that beauty card means. Okay, let's see. For Tauruses. Okay, now we're on to Gemini. Hope. So I'm loving these cards. These are very positive to me. that, okay, if we're in difficult times, but you know, keep hope alive. Jupiter's in your sign. It's protective. And yeah, try not to let too much worry, because worry, I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. We can do what little we can to prepare. And then, you know, Pluto's in Aquarius. The collective, Aquarius rules the collective. Pluto transforms. Now, it's supposed to move at the speed of a glacier, but have the impact of a tsunami. And you know what? The big event may be some like natural disaster sort of thing, like a volcano thing with Mars opposite Pluto and Aquarius. That may be the big story. So, you know, we'll see. The big story of the solar eclipse was the earthquake in Myanmar. So just keep hope alive. Yule, I like that. Try not to be too cynical, Gemini. I'm working on it myself. Cancer, renewal, embolic. Ooh, renewal. To me, this is about Cancers staying in flow as much as you can. Washing your water clean. That's what I like with that. Let me see what else that says. 36. Embolic. Because that's that holiday. It's time to embrace change. Shake things up. Nourish yourself with good food and adequate rest. Plan intentions for growth. Adequate rest. So many people are talking about sleep stuff. So, what can you do to renew yourself with healthy food and adequate rest? Leo, Sole, welcome. Look at that. That's a beautiful card. Welcome. Let's see what this card says. 23. Rise like the sun. Welcome new visitors in new ways. Travel. Consistency is key to completing a lengthy project. Be open to wonder. That's so interesting. Mars is going into the sign of Leo. You may find your energy just turned up. And I think it's a call to remember to be welcoming, maybe rather than combative. Maybe that's what it's just reminding you. Leo on the high road energy. Okay. Oh, you're Aries, a Leo. Okay. Oh, good, Jess. So accurate, you're saying. Okay. Ooh, Virgo. Bevy, mental health. Virgos, oh my God, absolutely. The South Node's in Virgo, so especially for Virgo risings, I'm considering the South Node like a bulldozer. So it's bringing up all this stuff to your conscious attention about your Virgo tendencies. And what Virgo likes to do is bring order to chaos. How can you order chaos that you have limited control over? So it's really, really, really important for Virgos to be, as much as you can, managing if you have issues with anxiety or over worrying or perfectionism, like just obsessiveness, to do what you can to recognize, especially if it's going into overdrive right now, or you're trying to control what you can, like your kids or your husband or your wife or whatever, and you're just like trying to really notice what's going on with you in this time of so much instability. I think that's really important for Virgos to be aware of this, because place emphasis on your mental health. Establishing boundaries is part of protecting your mental and physical health. Things may not be as you think. Yeah, when the absence of any like logical reason for things happening, we just start to make stuff up in our head, and I think that's something that is important. To seek balance. Absolutely. Know when you just need to turn the news off. Yeah, I wish I hadn't seen that thing with Rachel Maddow and that we may have some holes in our government that can be infiltrated, and God knows what happens. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah. So I'm just trying to release and let go, not worry so much about things we can't control. Okay. That's for Virgo. Maybe you need to go hang out with a Leo who has acted like they have no idea what's going on. Like somebody who would have gone on that space flight, totally checked out of reality. Now, many Leos are really grounded, down to earth, or what have you, but I'm just using it as an example because Virgo and Leo are signs that are next to each other, and the signs that are next to each other are kind of in rebellion for the one that came before it. So, or you can hang out with a Libra who just wants to talk about the quality of their space suits rather than, worry about what's going on in the world. On the lighter side. The lighter side, like Virgo being concerned about like every little detail, and Leo just thinking, just thinking about the party aspect I'm trying to get to. Anyway, that went over like a lead balloon. Hopefully no one's offended. And it was just, yeah. Leos know not to get caught up in the madness. You're happy to be in the madness. Thank you, Manifestor. You get what I was trying to say. Okay. And, this is an amazing card. This is Helios Cycles for Libra. Cycles. This is such an important cycle for Libras and Tauruses because of the Venus retrograde and Venus being conjunct Saturn for so long. And just important to realize this too shall pass. We're getting learning and lessons. Libra is very concerned with justice and fairness and balance on the high road. On the low road can be a little lighthearted and use that air to detach from all of the difficulties. Cycles. Flow with nature. Illuminate the patterns and cycles in your life, the productive ones and the ones you would rather interrupt. It's time to break a bad habit. Ooh, that's perfect with Venus conjunct Saturn. And the last day is April 24th. So Libras, think about, is there some kind of bad habit you want to break? Yes. It's like the Wheel of Fortune card. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Ooh, Scorpio. Wow. Raw order. Scorpio. Well, that meeting that happened about what's going on, the El Salvador stuff, was during a Scorpio moon, and it was like two leaders who consider themselves like gods that no issue with just throwing people into this hellhole for the rest of their lives, that because, oh, it's all about order. Yeah, taking away people's rights and the excuse is keeping things orderly. Yeah. Law and order. That's what I'm getting with that card. Yeah. Personal discipline assists us to be freer with our time. Creativity and good order work together. Power up and be fully alive. Remove yourself from chaotic situations and people. So, yeah, that's the card for Scorpio. So if there's someone in your life that is too chaotic, maybe you need to take a step back and look at yourself and see if there's something about that chaos that feels comfortable to you, and why do you keep engaging in it? And maybe there's time something's ready to be healed. That's what I get. Yeah. I know, it's Grace, Virgo, perfection, and Scorpio order. Ooh, Sagittarius, synergy, Celeste. Oh, I love this. Look at this. Sagittarius, just grab a buddy and have some fun. I love this for Sagittarius. The moon is in your side. It's a wonderful time to do something fun. And it's interesting with the, dance, like, don't forget to dance. That's what I think was Sagittarius, the sign ruled by Jupiter. Keeping hope alive, having an optimistic outlook that this too shall pass, having the philosophical understanding that things are going to be okay. Bring all your ingenuity to an issue to solve it. It may take a team to complete a task. It may take some time to heal completely. Don't rush, slow and steady. Seek places where you feel protected and nurtured. Create your own sanctuary. I love that. Okay. This is for Capricorn. Illumination. Illumination. That looks like the Chariot card. Surya Dev. Surya Dev. Illumination. Let me read what that says. Seek knowledge. Education is never wasted. Take your time to gather wisdom. Ensure you have the whole story before acting. A half-truth is still a lie. Very interesting. Seek knowledge. The moon next goes into Capricorn. So you may get some real illumination about something because as Mercury and Venus go back over the ground that they walked on before, as well as Mars, there may be a story that comes to your conscious attention that helps illuminate something that wasn't clear before. And I think this could be very internal. Yeah. Can you switch your side, Grace? No, you can't change your side. Oh, great. Aquarius. Flares, the unexpected. Yes, the unexpected. So what happens when all these planets are going into these new signs? So Mercury went into Aries. So it's at 0 Aries applying to Neptune. So it's fusing its energy with Neptune. So can you become your own mythic hero? And Aries and Aquarius are signs that sextile each other. So Mercury next is going to make a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. So there's going to be some information that comes up that's unexpected. You may learn something, and we as a collective may be learning something unexpected. Oh Lord, Aquarius is the sign of the collective. Good night. You know, the beauty, Taurus, makes me think about what they're doing in China, where they're exposing all these luxury brands. They're doing like and they're talking about how they do all the weaving in China for all these luxury brands. Louis Vuitton lost billions in their stock value this week. Yeah. Hope for renewal. Well, let's see if there's anything else. Like the senator went down to go try to negotiate with the cruel dictator. Yeah. I'm hoping we have something really positive come up. Okay. We cannot predict everything all the time. We cannot control everyone, and to think we can is misguided. Mystery is wonderful and a catalyst. We should prepare for the unexpected. It's okay to say, I don't know. Exercise flexibility. Aquarius is a fixed sign. And so who knows? There could be something really positive. Like one of the things I would love to see is if the women of, we're in Pluto and Aquarius, people are rising up against oppressive regimes. So let's see, maybe the women in Iran will rise up or something. That would be a great Venus-Saturn, an ending to like that suffering, taking the hijabs off. We'll see. People are getting their courage to stand up and take action with Mercury's in a fire sign, Aries. Mars, the planet of action, is going back into Leo. People feel like they're floundering around, are going to get some heart-centered fire to take action. I think there's the April 19th, there are a lot of protests. I think there are going to be lots of people. I think we're going to see the protest movement growing as more and more horrors are being exposed about what this government is doing. Yeah. Taking our money, insider trading, market manipulation, talking about taking away Social Security and Medicare, giving the rich billions in tax cuts while they take services away, take food out of children's mouths, school lunches, food banks, all these things being cut. Pisces, accomplishment, solar maximum. Ooh, Pisces, the North Node is in your sign. It's time to gather your energy, create healthy boundaries. You can't save everyone. Focus on what you want to grow in your life for your highest good. It's what I'm getting with that for Pisces. Yes, yes, yes. And Taurus season, the sun is going into Taurus. When? On Saturday. And so that'll start sextiling your Pisces planet. So you had a new moon in Pisces. It's almost 2 months ago now. And now the light is going to start to come in. The solar maximum doesn't happen till the full moon in Pisces, but that's okay. You're getting you're starting to see the light of what big changes you want to make, Pisces. Enjoy your accomplishments. When we reach our goals, we have evidence of our power. Self-trust is maximized. We show our consistency to ourselves and others. We realize promises we make to ourselves. And I think I read them all except Hope for Gemini. So let me read that. Number 35. Yule. After the longest night, there is always a dawn. There is a cycle of darkness and light for everyone. Hope is worth acknowledging and celebrating. All is not lost. that's the message I want to leave people with. All is not lost. I really think that, we're going through this difficult time, and we can see it astrologically. Neptune and soon Saturn are going to the fourth house of the United States chart. So our foundations, our personal midnight, our land, it's like Neptune is exposing. I feel like it's exposing a lot of myths and things, being just as our illusions, as the balloon is popped and we see things for what they really are rather than for what we had imagined they were in our minds. It's a big deal, and now, Saturn brings reality, and it's going to be like there's some difficult things that we're dealing with, but have hope that the cycle will lead us into better things. And I love that, it starts, we can weave new accomplishments. I think really taking care of mental health is good for everyone with the South Node in Virgo. Yeah. And this is about like welcoming Leo, the unexpected Aquarius. Yeah. Taking good care of your mental health is the biggest accomplishment you can have. Yeah, absolutely. And we keep the hope alive, and we synergy. It's important to, have community is what I'm getting. Yeah, I believe that, yes, manifestor, all Americans need to remember they're greater than the circumstances they endure. It's always important to remember there's value within yourself, not just as an entity. I love that. That's beautiful, manifestor. Yes. Yes, I read for Taurus. The card was beauty. Recognizing even simple, it's important for Taurus. Bring beauty into your life as much as you can, whether it's just having a good meal, that's something that's healthy food, going for a beautiful walk in nature. The best things in life are free. Just asking for a hug, like little things that connect. Taurus is the physical earth sign ruled by Venus. Libra, which was cycles, is the air sign ruled by Venus. But the physical Venus, it's like something to bring some beauty that's practical, and even just like whatever little things you do that make the life more present and embodied. Like I always have fresh flowers is something I like to do to bring beauty in. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing 3 days of prediction teaching in Park City, Utah, for OPA, the Organization of Professional Astrology, in October 15th through 19th. It is going to be fantastic. We went there last year, and I taught my Moon Mastery last year. This year, so if you want to learn predictive astrology, you got to understand the basics of astrology. You've got to understand the signs, the houses, the aspects, be able to do some basic chart reading before we get into predictive astrology. So that's important. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Grace. Yes, I should have reminded people with my announcements. I didn't have any announcements today. Yes, I'm a Taurus too. Yes. Yeah. The cards I'm using today are Queen of the Soul Oracle by Stacey Demarco. Yes, yes. Oh, I better go. Oh, how beautiful. It's 11:11. I have a client coming up. Yes. Everyone needs to use their voice to not just, there was this old man in Iowa who was apoplectic about what is going on with what happened to Kilmore Garcia. Yes, people need to raise their voices. about the injustice, and they are going to. It's going to be very, very loud. You may need some earplugs this weekend because people are going to be, our values, we're going to be seeing the values of the collective as the sun moves into the sign of Taurus, which rules values and resources. People are going to be speaking up more and more and more. Yeah, these cards are absolutely beautiful. Okay, take good care. I will put the link to the cards in the caption, and yeah, I'll post the picture of them, and I'll be back on Thursday. I'm so excited to talk to Thea, the Pluto babe. Not Thursday, Friday. I'm so turned around. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Take good care of yourselves. Okay, bye.